Welcome back to Apex Sci-Fi. When we imagine first contact, we imagine an exchange of technology. We give them art, they give us fusion power. We give them literature, they give us the cure for all diseases. We assume that a hyper-advanced civilization capable of bending space and time would look at humanity and filter out the trash. We assume they would ignore our reality TV, our fast food, and our questionable fashion choices. But there is a flaw in the alien mind. They are obsessed with functionality. If they see a species that has survived for thousands of years despite being soft, slow, and squishy, they assume that everything that species does must have a hidden tactical advantage. This is especially true for the High Senate of Krell, a race of telepathic, bald, big-headed intellectuals who value brainpower above all else. They calculate the efficiency of every movement. They analyze the aerodynamics of every eyebrow raise. So, when they abducted Kenny the Rooster Powers from a dirt track race in Alabama, they didn't look at his math skills. They didn't look at his muscle mass. They looked at his hair. Kenny was rocking a pristine, conditioned, foot-long mullet. Short on the sides, business in the front, and a cascading party of golden curls in the back. To us, it's a questionable haircut. To the Krell, it was a biological antenna configuration that suggested supreme confidence and aerodynamic duality. This is the story of how a haircut from the 1980s became the uniform of the galactic elite. The abduction was standard. Kenny was pulled up by a blue beam while trying to jumpstart his 1992 Camaro. He woke up strapped to a floating exam table in a room that looked like an Apple store designed by H.R. Geiger. Standing over him was High Exarch Val. Val was 7 feet tall, gray and completely hairless. His head was enormous, pulsating with psychic energy. "Do not be afraid, Earthling," Val projected into Kenny's mind. "We are studying your species' survival mechanisms. We have analyzed your leaders, your scientists, but you are different." Kenny blinked, trying to sit up. "Is this about the unpaid parking tickets? Because I told Sheriff Miller I'd pay him next Tuesday." "We do not care for your currency," Val said, leaning closer. He extended a long, slender finger and gently touched the tips of Kenny's hair in the back. "Explain this cranial structure. Our scans indicate it is dead keratin, yet you cultivate it with extreme care. The anterior section is cropped for minimal visual obstruction. The posterior section creates a thermal exhaust veil? A wind stabilizer." Kenny shook his head, flipping the mullet with a practiced motion. This is the Kentucky waterfall, buddy. The Camaro cut. It's business up front, party in the back. It tells the world, I got a job, but I also know how to shotgun a beer in 3 seconds. It's a lifestyle. Val's large black eyes widened. He turned to his fellow scientists. "Did you hear that?" Val gasped mentally. "Business in the front, party in the back. It is the perfect duality of existence. Order and chaos, logic and passion, synthesized into a single biological display. This creature has solved the binary dilemma of the soul." The scientists began furiously typing on their holographic pads. "It makes sense, Exarch," one scientist exclaimed. "The short hair minimizes frontal drag during intellectual pursuits, allowing for clarity of thought. The long rear mane acts as a psychic grounding wire, protecting the brain from emotional overload. It is an antenna for the party, which we must assume is a state of higher consciousness." Kenny sat there, confused. "So, you guys like the flow?" "Like it," Val whispered. "We must have it. We have been stagnant for millennia. We are too rigid, too logical. We lack the party." Val pressed a button on the wall. "Activate the biosynth. I want the Kentucky waterfall modification. Immediately." Within an hour, the unthinkable had happened. High Exarch Val, the leader of a Type 3 civilization, walked out of the medical bay. He was still a gray-skinned alien with giant black eyes, but now, sprouting from his oversized cranium, was a luscious, flowing, dirty blonde mullet. He shook his head. The hair slapped against his neck. "By the stars," Val gasped. "I feel aerodynamic. I feel loose." He looked at Kenny. "Human. What accessories are required to maintain the structural integrity of this look?" "My data suggests pit vipers." Kenny reached into his pocket and pulled out his spare pair of neon green wraparound sunglasses. "Here you go, Haas. Put these on. And you're gonna need this." Kenny handed him a can of lukewarm cheap beer. "Don't drink it. Just hold it. It balances the equilibrium." Val put on the glasses. He held the can. He stood up straighter. His telepathic voice dropped an octave, becoming cooler, more relaxed. "Yes," Val projected. I sense it now. The anxiety of the universe is fading. I do not care about the interstellar trade deficit. I only care about full send. The trend spread through the Krell mothership like a virus. It started with the High Council. They realized that the mullet gave them an air of unpredictable authority. When they entered negotiations with other species, their opponents were terrified. Why is the Krell ambassador wearing a rug on his neck? The Klingon-like enemies would whisper. And why is he wearing a shirt with the sleeves ripped off? Is he insane? Is he berserk? The Krell realized that looking like Florida trash was the ultimate power move. It signaled that they had nothing to lose. Within a week, the entire Krell civilization underwent a cultural revolution. They abandoned their sleek, silver jumpsuits. They started synthesizing denim. But not just any denim, acid-wash denim. They created jorts, jean shorts, that were biologically fused to their exoskeletons. The climax of the story occurred during the Galactic Summit. The Krell were there to negotiate a peace treaty with the stiff, robotic cyberlords. The cyberlords marched in, perfectly in sync, metallic and cold. Then the Krell delegation arrived. The doors blew open. Val walked in. His mullet was permed to perfection. He was wearing a tuxedo t-shirt. He had a toothpick in his mouth. Behind him, 50 alien senators, all sporting variations of the rat tail and the skullet, were high-fiving each other. Val sat at the table, kicked his feet up, revealing cowboy boots, and cracked open a can of Space Light. "Sup, nerds," Val projected. The cyberlords malfunctioned. "Illogical," the cyberlord leader buzzed. "Your appearance violates all protocols of dignity. You look like you drive a vehicle with a loud exhaust pipe." "Yeah, well," Val said, adjusting his neon sunglasses. "Maybe we do. Maybe we're done crunching numbers. Maybe we're ready to crunch some skulls if you don't sign this treaty. What are you gonna do about it? My hair is aerodynamic. Your logic is invalid." The cyberlords ran the simulations. They calculated that a species willing to wear a mullet in public possessed a level of courage and recklessness that could not be defeated. "We surrender," the cyberlord said. "We cannot fight the party in the back. It is too powerful." Kenny was eventually returned to Alabama. The Krell dropped him off with a new truck, made of alien alloy, and a lifetime supply of hairspray. But his legacy lives on among the stars. If you look through a powerful telescope at the Krell homeworld, you won't see spires of crystal anymore. You will see giant stadiums hosting monster truck rallies with hovercrafts. You will see statues of Kenny, immortalized in stone, holding a fish in one hand and a beer in the other. And in the great halls of the Galactic Senate, the most powerful beings in the universe no longer greet each other with a bow. They nod, flick their hair back and say the sacred words of power, "Hell yeah, brother." This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Fashion is cyclical, but the mullet is eternal. It is the only haircut that transcends species barriers. If you have ever rocked a hairstyle that you later regretted or secretly loved, hit that like button. You are ready for galactic leadership. Comment below, what other 80s fashion trend should aliens adopt? Fanny packs, shoulder pads. Subscribe, and keep it business in the front. Full send.